I, Michael, Prince of the heavenly hosts and holder of the key to the armies of the Most High, now stand before you with all the magnitude that the glory of God has bestowed upon me since the beginning of time. Do not look upon these words as mere symbols on a screen, but feel the vibration of my blue fire sword cutting through the dense air of your worldly concerns. I traverse the portals of time and space to meet you in the depths of your soul, for your cry has risen like incense to the throne of grace. And I have been sent to be your shield and your unshakable fortress. Feel, at this very moment, the weight of my golden armor reflecting the light of absolute truth. No shadow can remain where I stand, and no lie can fail to crumble before the brilliance of my eyes, which behold all things according to the will of the Creator. I am the guardian of divine secrets and the staunch defender of those who seek justice. In presenting myself to you, I establish a protective dome that the world cannot comprehend and that darkness dares not touch. My voice resonates like the sound of many waters, bringing order to the chaos that tried to take hold in your thoughts. I, Michael, I'm here to tell you that your journey is not a matter of chance, and that every tear you shed in the silence of the night was collected by angelic hands. Lift your head, for he who is under my protection does not walk with his head bowed. I now envelop you with the warmth of my wings, whose feathers are made of purity and power, creating a refuge where fear is forced to retreat. Notice how the atmosphere around you becomes lighter, as if an invisible burden were lifted from your shoulders. This is the sign of my direct intervention. I stand as a sentinel at every door and window of your being, forbidding the entry of any influence that does not come from the light. My authority was given to me by the living God himself, and under this command, I decree that this space you now occupy is sacred ground. No opposing force, no thought of defeat, and no plot woven in darkness is permitted to remain in my presence. I am the one who cried out, "Who is like God?" when pride tried to challenge heaven. And with that same cry, I now expel from your life all the uncertainty that prevents you from seeing the greatness of your destiny. Feel the touch of my hand on your shoulder, a touch that instills courage, restores lost hope, and reminds you that you are an heir to the eternal promises. My guard is active and constant. I neither sleep nor rest until your spiritual security is established. I watch your paths, your lying down and your rising up, and I send my legions to guard your every step, so that you do not stumble into any hidden trap. I, Michael, am your wall of fire. When the world seems hostile to you and the voices of discord try to confuse you, remember my solemn and authoritative presence. I do not come to ask permission, but to take possession of what the Creator has entrusted to me, your absolute protection. Let my peace, which surpasses all human understanding, fill every crevice of your soul. I am cleansing your spiritual field, removing the thorns and stones that hindered your vision of the divine horizon. Trust in my sword, for it has never lost a battle. Trust in my shield, for it is proof against any attack. I am your most faithful ally and your most powerful protector. As long as I am here, and I will be forever under God's command, nothing can annihilate the divine spark that exists within you. I summon you to accept this presence as a definitive reality, for the celestial militia moves in your favor from this moment on. Breathe in the courage I transmit to you, and allow your spirit to rise to the heights where earthly worries lose their power. I, Michael, stand before you, and in my name, victory is the only path. I, Michael, now unsheathe my sword of blue fire against the attacks of those who conspire in the shadows against your peace. Know that spiritual combat is not a fiction of the mind, but a reality that unfolds on invisible planes, where the forces of negation attempt to stifle the light that the Creator placed in your heart. I, Michael, place myself on the front line of this battle for you. I will not allow the adversary's traps to prosper under my watchful gaze. He observes how my authority shakes the domains of confusion and fear. I am the one who expels discord and restores divine order wherever my presence is invoked with faith and righteousness. You must not fear the rumors of spiritual warfare that echo around you, for my strategy is perfect and my arm is invincible. I see the invisible arrows of discouragement, doubt, and depression that are launched against your spirit, and with my diamond shield, I intercept them and turn them to dust before they reach your heart. I, Michael, command that every legion of intrusive thoughts and every frequency of anguish that tries to attach itself to your aura retreat immediately to the abyss from whence they came. There is no greater authority than that which I carry in the name of the Most High. And under this insignia, I declare that the battlefield of your mind is now under my sovereign protection. Feel the strength of my army, positioned in battle formation beside you. Thousands of angels of light, under my direct command, form an insurmountable barrier surrounding your existence. Where the enemy sees weakness, I establish my fortress. Where shadow attempts to infiltrate, I project the brilliance of celestial midday. I, Michael, am attentive to the whispers of slander and the plots of envy that attempt to undermine your earthly endeavors. With a single movement of my hand, I undo these knots of evil and expose the truth, for nothing remains hidden before my sword, which discerns the deepest intentions of the human soul. Remember that your struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers that feed on your hesitation. Therefore, put on the armor I offer you, the helmet of salvation to protect your thoughts, the breastplate of righteousness to guard your emotions, and the belt of truth to steady your steps. I, Michael, am the general who trains you for victory, instilling in your spirit a courage that knows no defeat. When you feel exhausted by the weight of adversity, look to me and see the brilliance of my armor that never tarnishes. I lend you my strength and carry you, if necessary, until the terrain of your life is completely purified of any harmful influence. I now cut, with surgical precision, the dense energy cords that connect you to past conflicts and to people who drain your vitality. I break the unconscious alliances you have made with fear and scarcity. I, Michael, proclaim that you are free to serve the light without the shackles of the spiritual chains that held you prisoner in repetitive cycles of suffering. My justice is severe against evil, but infinitely merciful towards the humble of heart. Do not let the arrogance of your adversary intimidate you, for he has already been defeated by me at the gates of heaven and will be defeated again in every detail of your daily life. I establish a protective barrier around your dreams and your highest goals. May no spirit of delay or blockage be allowed to act against your spiritual and material prosperity. I am the Prince who watches over the integrity of God's plans, and if your plan is aligned with the greater good, I will personally ensure that obstacles are removed like straw in the wind. Lift up your spirit and trust in my leadership. I, Michael, am in command of your defense, and under my command, the enemy has no voice, no place, and no power over you. Victory is the seal I place on your forehead at this very moment of confrontation and overcoming. I, Michael, now extend my hands over your roof and the foundations of your home, transforming each wall into an impenetrable rampart of light. I enter your house with the authority of Prince Regent, and my presence sanctifies the air you breathe and the ground you tread. I, Michael, command that all discord, every cursed word uttered among your people, and all stagnant energy that has accumulated in the corners of your dwelling, be now swept away by the breath of my power. I seal the thresholds of your doors with the sign of my sword, so that only that which is pure, that which is noble, and that which is divinely ordained may cross your boundary. Feel my profound prayer that now echoes in every room, reaching the hearts of all who make up your lineage. I, Michael, take under my protection your children, your parents, your companions, and all those whom your heart loves. I place a sentinel of fire at the head of each bed, so that the sleep of your family members may be a plunge into restorative peace, and that the nightmares of anxiety may not dare to disturb the rest of the righteous. I protect your possessions, the fruit of your labor, and the table where you share your bread, ensuring that scarcity never finds an address where my name is invoked as a defender. I, Michael, now intercede for harmony in your relationships. May my celestial patience calm heated tempers, and may my clarity dispel misunderstandings that attempt to separate what God has united through love or blood. I cut the ties of negative spiritual inheritances that weigh upon your family. I break hereditary curses and the repetition of past generations' mistakes that attempt to manifest in your present. Under my protection, your home becomes a sanctuary of renewal, a safe haven where the storms of the outside world have no power to enter. I, Michael, place my shield between your family and the illnesses of body and soul. I ward off the spirit of sickness and the spirit of vice that try to steal the joy from your fellowship. I breathe the breath of life and health upon each member of your household, from the youngest to the oldest, infusing vigor and cellular protection under the will of the Father. Where there was weeping, I establish a smile. Where there was the silence of sorrow, I restore the dialogue of compassion. I am the Archangel who watches over unity, for in the union of the family resides the strength that the enemy fears most. I accompany every departure and every arrival of your loved ones. I precede them on their way to work, to school, and to their daily tasks, guiding them away from hidden dangers, accidents, and encounters with disguised human wickedness. I, Michael, am the invisible guide who whispers in their ears the path of prudence. My protection is not passive. It is a moving shield that adapts to every need of your home. I consecrate your family to the service of good, so that the brilliance of your home may be a light that also illuminates the lives of your neighbors and friends, without the envy of others being able to extinguish that radiance. I, Michael, remain in constant vigil in the center of your room, radiating a frequency of gratitude and security that expels any trace of fear. Your house is no longer just a construction of stone and mortar. It is now an extension of my army on earth, protected by legions that know no sleep. Rest your heart in the certainty that I, Michael, have assumed responsibility for your domestic well-being. What is yours is guarded under my wing, and what God has given you, no one has the power to take away. Peace reigns here, for I, the Commander of Light, have decreed it. I, Michael, now raise my flaming sword to execute the ultimate sentence of liberation upon your life. I see the invisible chains that the world has tried to forge around your wrists and feet, shackles made of guilt, old traumas, and cursed words hurled at you by those who walk in darkness. With a single blow of my celestial authority, I shatter these chains now. Feel the impact of my power breaking the shackles of procrastination, self-sabotage, and the feeling that nothing in your life is progressing. I, Michael, declare that the time of your paralysis is over. I now turn against the poison of envy and the evil eye that tried to dry up your prosperity and wither your dreams. I locate every negative mental projection, every ritual of wickedness, and every wish for your downfall directed at you by hearts corrupted by selfishness. I, Michael, neutralize these energies at this very moment, returning them to their origin so that they may be transmuted by divine justice without them being able to touch or influence you any longer. My shield of mirrors reflects back all the darkness sent to you, protecting your aura with a layer of light so intense that no inferior vibration can penetrate it. I break down the obstacles that have been placed in your professional and financial path. I remove the stumbling blocks that human hands and opposing spiritual forces have erected to hinder your success. I, Michael, open the doors that were locked with padlocks of injustice. I untie the knots that bound your processes, your earnings, and the recognition of your effort. Nothing that belongs to your destiny by divine right can remain withheld. I command that the walls of difficulties crumble like those of Jericho before the sound of my trumpet of victory. You are no longer a prisoner of circumstances, but a master of your own journey under my protection. I clear your vision so that you may see the traps disguised as opportunities. and the wolves in sheep's clothing that try to approach your light. With my angelic discernment, I expose falsehood and drive away from you the bad company and influences that drain your vitality. I, Michael, am the fire that consumes the cobwebs of mental confusion and doubt. If any impediment has been placed in your path through witchcraft, hidden envy, or slander, I burn it now with the purifying fire of God's altar. Where there was blockage, now there is fluidity. Where there was shadow, now there is absolute clarity. Feel the lightness that fills your chest as I remove the spiritual hooks that bound you to people from your past who do not wish you well. I cut these threads of bitterness and emotional dependence. I, Michael, set you free so that you may fly high, without the weight of carrying others' expectations or pains that do not belong to you. You are a free being, rescued by my strong arm and sealed by my royal protection. The authority I wield knows no limits in the created universe, and I use it now to ensure that your energy field is clean, bright, and shielded against any external interference. I place in your hands the key to your own spiritual autonomy. Do not allow the fear of the past or the uncertainty of the future to enslave you again. For I, Michael, am before you, tearing down all walls. From this moment on, your path is free of thorns and the traps are undone. Walk with your head held high, for the Prince of Light has removed all obstacles that dared to challenge the divine plan for your life. What was bound is now loose. What was blocked now flows with the force of a mighty river towards the sea of your fulfillment. I, Michael, have sealed your liberation. I, Michael, now place my hand upon your chest so that you may feel the pulse of divine life that runs through your veins, a force that no earthly storm can extinguish. I come to strengthen the foundations of your faith, which has often faltered under the weight of trials. I, Michael, infuse your spirit with the temper of celestial steel. Do not allow doubts to blow like desert winds upon the field of your dreams. I am here to remind you that faith is not a passive waiting, but the absolute certainty that God's army is already moving in your favor, even when your physical eyes cannot yet see the horizon of victory. Feel the solidity of my presence anchoring your soul in gratitude. I call upon you to look back, not with lament, but with the discernment I grant you now, so that you may see how many times my hand has delivered you from abysses you didn't even perceive. Gratitude is the language of angels and the key that unlocks the treasures of the kingdom. When you give thanks, my light expands within you, creating a magnetic field that attracts blessings upon blessings. I, Michael, command that all spiritual weariness be transformed into renewed vigor. I breathe upon your spirit the breath of courage, so that you may rise with the disposition of those who know they are supported by the Prince of Hosts. I strengthen your will so that you may persevere on the path of righteousness, even when the world offers you seductive shortcuts made of shadows. My sword of blue light illuminates your discernment, allowing you to separate the wheat from the chaff in your daily decisions. I, Michael, am your mentor in the art of resilience. I teach you to transform each obstacle into a stepping stone of ascension. Do not let yourself be discouraged by appearances of defeat, for under my command, each apparent retreat is merely the tightening of the string of the divine bow to launch you with greater force towards your purpose. Feel the firmness I bring to your legs and the clarity I bring to your gaze. I, Michael, place in your heart the flame of unwavering hope. May this flame burn away all the ashes of bitterness and resentment that still try to cool your soul. The gratitude I teach you today is the shield against murmuring, the poison that weakens the spirit of men. When you give thanks for the protection you receive, I double my guard around you. When you recognize the beauty of life despite the scars, I pour upon you the oil of joy that perfumes your entire existence. I remind you that you are a warrior of light, and a warrior never forgets to honor the source of his strength. I am restoring your direct connection with the sacred. May your prayers no longer be cries of despair, but dialogues of trust with the one who sent me to protect you. I, Michael, am the messenger who carries your prayers and brings answers in the form of everyday miracles. Feel the structure of your faith becoming robust like the pillars of the eternal temple. Nothing can shake the one who stands firm on the rock of divine presence. I give you the vision of the eagle so that you may see beyond the passing clouds and focus on the sun of righteousness that never sets. You are an heir to the kingdom, and your faith is the seal of your spiritual nobility. I, Michael, remain by your side, whispering words of encouragement into your inner ear during your hours of silence. You receive this infusion of power and peace. The gratitude that now overflows from your being is the sign that my work of strengthening you is complete. Walk with the certainty that you are loved, guided, and sustained by hands that hold the stars. I, Michael, strengthen your faith and multiply your reasons to give thanks. I, Michael, Prince of the heavenly legions and guardian of the throne of the Most High, now reach the culmination of my mission with you, sealing with the fire of eternity all that has been established here. I raise my right hand over your head and, with the authority invested in me by the Creator of all things, I pour upon you the final blessing of absolute peace and spiritual invulnerability. May this blue light, emanating from the original source of life, penetrate every cell of your body, every fiber of your soul, and every fragment of your consciousness, purifying you from any and all stain that the world has tried to impose upon you. I, Michael, now baptize you in the courage of the righteous and in the serenity of those who fully trust in divine providence. The seal I place on your forehead and in your heart is a mark invisible to the eyes of men, but terrible and brilliant to the powers of darkness. This seal proclaims to the universe that you are the property of the kingdom of light, and that any attack against you will be answered with the full weight of my forces. I, Michael, decree that from this moment on, your life enters a cycle of absolute protection. Where there is confusion, my order will manifest. Where there is scarcity, my abundance will flow. Where there is danger, my intervention will be immediate and relentless. I seal your paths, your projects, and your lineage so that the tree of your existence may bear fruits of glory and righteousness under the sun of divine justice. I now establish my permanent vigil over your journey. Know that I, Michael, never sleep and never take my eyes off your path. I am your personal sentinel, your guardian day and night. When the sun sets, my sword of flames will continue to shine around your bed. When dawn breaks, my shield will be before you, opening the paths to your fulfillment. I place angels on standby at every crossroads of your life, so that there may be no error of course or deviation from the purpose that the Father has designed for you. My presence is not a passing event, but an eternal covenant that I have made with you before the tribunal of truth. Feel the solidity of this spiritual seal. I envelop your entire being in my wings, creating a dome of sacred silence where the noise of the world can no longer afflict you. I, Michael, now withdraw from your conscious vision, but remain fused to your daily reality. I am the whisper of caution in your ears, the sudden strength in your arms, and the inexplicable peace in your moments of crisis. My vigilance is your rest. My authority is your security. My light is your guide. Nothing, absolutely nothing, has the power to break this seal that I, the Prince of Militias, have just performed in the name of the living God. Walk now with the dignity of one escorted by heaven. Do not look back in fear, for what is in the past has been cut away by my blade. Look to the future with the certainty that I have already prepared it for your arrival. I, Michael, I am your defender today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. My mission in you is fulfilled in this cycle, but my guard is uninterrupted. May the peace of the Almighty, the strength of my army, and the clarity of my vision accompany you with every breath. The seal is set. The protection is active, the vigil is eternal. I, Michael, have so determined it, and so it is done in heaven and on earth.